I was invited to see him in his inhabitants, and I think the thing about Oskar Studios is that he doesn't just design there, he makes. So the whole process and creation is very visible. So the enthusiasm of the design through to the team that creates it with him, through to the people that actually make it. And I think that's where the understanding of the sophistication of the product, as well as the kind of visceral process that goes into creating the objects and items you see here, but the things I've seen beyond that. So I very fortunately saw public sculptures, large format items, as well as, down to a tiny light fitting. I think with his work, it's, when you look at a product that is substantially air, it's quite an interesting thing to talk about. So we're housing air within a medium that doesn't necessarily feel like it should do what it's doing, and that's what I quite enjoy about the product. If you touch anything, if you actually start touching everything feels so light. It feels very easy to take it into different products, and I think this is one of the things I love about Oskar is he's part industrial designer, part sculptor, and I think that's where it gets very interesting for people like me, where I'm thinking, well, how can I use it? There are so many different opportunities for the product to be adapted or modernised, and I think this whole idea of adaptive design is important with a material. Otherwise you'll get stuck in a look, and a lot of people that produce things where they become recognisable, it can run out of energy. And I think with the processes that Oskar's already got and the things he's talking about doing, you constantly have opportunity to create new settings. And I think when you bring things into here, for instance, where we have reflective materials that are, very, very much about just reflecting space and the inhabitants within them, and then you also have, things that punctuate, like when you go to the furniture items upstairs, things you can sit on, things you can display from. I mean, I'm not entirely sure that you're going to win an Olympic gold on this skateboard, but you definitely want to lift it above your head if you'd won the Olympic gold in skateboarding. And I think that's it. It's almost like he's making something even more beautiful because of the process in which he designs and manufactures. And if you've not met him, I suggest you do, because you'll then engage in the process, and you'll want to see how far you can go with it. Because you'll start with an idea, and then he'll probably come up with more things. And that was what I really learned from going to his studio and manufacturing facility, because you've got to ask those questions. Where are you going next with it? When you've got someone who turns around and takes a piece of aluminium and then says, I'm taking it to space and I'm working with NASA with a gas to put within it because there's no air, I think you become very confident that he can accommodate maybe some of the ideas architects and designers have for the products.